Right, let's have a primer on compression, what it is, and why it is foundational to the WordPress web performance architecture that you will learn how to implement in future course lectures. When I'm talking about compression here, I am specifically talking about the gzip, G-Z-I-P compression of our text-based assets like CSS files, JavaScript files, and HTML, which as a method of data compression is one way to minimize the total size of our site's resources, thereby reducing the burden on the user's browser, which is, in a sense, carrying our site's assets for us when our site is served to a user. Gzip compression is not context specific in that it is applied the same way to all of our text-based files. It is either on or it is off for them, and is the first of the two forms of data compression that we will be concerning ourselves with in this course. The other being minification, which is context specific, meaning that minification can be on for one file or asset or resource, but off for another file, asset, or resource. In the next lecture, in fact, you will be getting your primer on minification. But back to gzip. Gzip compression re-encodes information using fewer bits than the original information, such that the meaning of that information does not change in spite of the fact that it has been made significantly smaller, up to 90% smaller actually, in some instances. A fantastic savings. So when we have a resource or an asset, let's say a JavaScript file, that file comes to us obese, fat, out of shape. By applying gzip compression to it, we are in effect giving that thing liposuction, getting rid of all that excess fatitude that it just doesn't need to be itself. After doing so, whatever browser your site's visitor is using can carry that JavaScript file or any other sort of text-based resource to the visitor much, much, much faster. And that is a good thing, a great thing, in fact, precisely what we want. If, as recommended in Lecture 7, your WordPress site is on a good host, gzip compression is already available to you, and I will be showing you how to enable it once we get to the specific lecture on browser caching.